taking Maddox and sending him off to college, is everybody kind of like walking around in a daze, missing him?
What was very beautiful is the way everybody said goodbye when it was time for him to take him to the airport.
From a remote orphanage in Cambodia to the bustling campuses of South Korea, Maddox Jolie-Pitt's path has been anything but ordinary. How does a boy, once lost in the shadows of war, evolve into a multilingual intellectual and creative force in his own right? His journey challenges the usual story of celebrity children, revealing a stunning metamorphosis shaped by culture, family, and a fierce dedication to growth. Few might guess that behind the public image lies a young man who not only embraces his Cambodian roots, but also navigates the complex worlds of Hollywood and academia with equal ease. Orphanage in Cambodia. Maddox Jolie-Pitt's story begins in Cambodia, a country still healing from decades of conflict and turmoil. Born as Rath Vibol, he spent his early years in an orphanage in Battambang, a place far removed from the glamour his future family would bring. Angelina Jolie first encountered him during a humanitarian visit as a United Nations Goodwill Ambassador. At the time, Jolie had not anticipated motherhood, but this encounter changed everything. She has shared how seeing Maddox sleeping peacefully in her arms, then opening his eyes and smiling, made her feel an intense connection, one that sparked the beginning of a lifelong bond. Her visit to Cambodia was initially intended to be brief, planning to see just one orphanage. After meeting many children without forming a strong connection, Jolie was told there was one child left, Maddox. That moment was the start of a profound chapter. Following his adoption in 2002, during Jolie's marriage to actor Billy Bob Thornton, Maddox's name was changed to Maddox Chivan Thornton, linking him legally into the family at that time. The adoption formalized a new life, but the evolving family dynamics ahead would shape his identity in unexpected ways. Even in these earliest days, the emotional stakes were high. Angelina has described Maddox as the cornerstone of her family, the start of so much more than just a legal arrangement. His presence transformed Jolie's perception of motherhood and family. While this marked the emergence of a new family unit, the layers of culture, history, and personal growth tied to Maddox's beginnings remained under the surface, waiting to unfold. This initial step set the stage for the complex transformation Maddox would experience as he moved from orphan to celebrity son. Maddox's adoption story is not just about a single moment in Cambodia, but a gateway to future challenges and triumphs. The early phase of his new life was full of adjustment, navigating a vastly different world and finding his place within a high-profile family. Even today, the echoes of those first encounters in Cambodia inform how Maddox engages with his roots and identity. The foundation of his transformation began in these tender early years, carrying emotional weight and cultural significance. Despite the fame surrounding his adoptive parents, Maddox's Cambodian roots remain an essential part of his story. The heritage and history of the country give him a unique perspective rare among celebrity children. This background posed both opportunities and obstacles. Maddox would later embrace this connection deeply, but the seeds were planted quietly during these first years when he was just a child in a new and unfamiliar world. The decision to adopt Maddox was part of a broader shift in Angelina Jolie's life, one that would transform her public image and personal priorities. Motherhood became an unexpected but powerful force, reshaping her goals and relationships. For Maddox, being brought into this world was the start of a journey far beyond what either he or Jolie could have predicted. His path hints at the intersections of family, culture, and individual growth that define the transformation to come. The complexities of family names and lineage play a powerful role in shaping identity, as Maddox's experiences soon demonstrated in a way few could have anticipated. Name changes and family dynamics. Maddox's identity evolved visibly through changes in his name, reflecting shifts in family relationships and legal ties. Upon his adoption in 2002, his birth name Rath Vibol was replaced with Maddox Chivan Thornton, carrying the surname of Angelina Jolie's then-husband, Billy Bob Thornton. This renaming symbolized his entry into a new family, but also mirrored the fluctuations of adult relationships surrounding him. When Jolie and Thornton ended their marriage in 2003, Thornton's name was later removed from Maddox's legal documents in 2006, signaling another transition. That same year, 2006, marked a significant turning point for the family with the birth of Jolie's and Brad Pitt's first biological child, Shiloh Jolie-Pitt. Brad Pitt soon adopted Maddox and his sister Zahara, making Maddox a legal part of another evolving family unit. From this point, Maddox's official name became Maddox Jolie-Pitt. Brad Pitt has openly expressed the depth of his bond with his adopted children, emphasizing that loving them and considering them as his own is central to their family bond. This legal and emotional shift further complicated Maddox's sense of identity, but also anchored him in a loving environment. The name changes and shifting family dynamics reflect more than paperwork. They signify the personal journey of belonging and self-understanding. Maddox's experience with different surnames encapsulates the challenges of navigating family in the public eye. Each change corresponded with new roles, new expectations, and a growing sense of who he was beyond just a name. For Maddox, these transitions required both adaptability and resilience, skills he would continue to develop over time. The period marked a time when Maddox combined his personal and public activities while he navigated the complex field of celebrity relationships and media surveillance. The public interest in his developing family from his early years created additional difficulties that he needed to handle. Maddox developed strong sibling and parent connections, which he maintained throughout life, despite facing external pressures, which required him to balance his responsibilities as a son and his journey to discover his personal identity. The dynamic changes proved difficult to handle, yet they created the foundation which developed into the strength he displays today. Angelina Jolie has spoken fondly about her relationship with Maddox during these years, describing him as her best buddy and one of the coolest little people she ever met. Their relationship developed into a strong bond which they built through their shared interests and their ability to build trust with one another. The couple shared a mutual interest in knives, which included a family heirloom that became a sign of their relationship. Jolie began her lifelong fascination with daggers when she was young and later showed Maddox how to handle them in a secure environment where she taught him about honor, history, and self-defense. The mother-son relationship shows strong connections through which he distances himself from the changing legal and family circumstances that surround him. Maddox developed the ability to establish relationships with others while maintaining personal bonds, which helped him find steadiness during times of change. His willingness to call Angelina by her first name during light-hearted moments shows their affectionate bond, which exists between them. Despite the name changes and different circumstances that emerged throughout his life, his close relationships stayed with him as permanent connections, which supported his personal development and self-assurance. The complexity of family proved just one aspect of Maddox's evolving life, as his interests and childhood experiences with Angelina opened new doors to self-expression. Childhood interests and bond. With Angelina. From a young age, Maddox shared a special bond with his mother that went beyond the usual parent-child relationship. Angelina Jolie often described him as her equal partner in adventures and learning, highlighting a friendship that was playful yet profound. This closeness was evident in how they engaged in activities together, including an unusual mutual interest in knives. For Jolie, this interest runs deep. She bought her first daggers with her mother when she was just 11 or 12, a passion she thoughtfully passed on to Maddox with safety in mind. Their shared fascination with knives was more than a hobby. It was a doorway into discussions about history, violence, and protection. Jolie explained that they often talked about samurais and the idea of defending others as a noble act. These conversations illustrated how their relationship combined practical lessons with philosophical ideas, nurturing Maddox's curiosity about the world. Such exchanges reflect a childhood rich with guidance and intellectual stimulation, unusual for most children, let alone those growing up in the spotlight. Digital evidence indicates Maddox possessed exceptional academic dedication, according to his mother. From his first years, he demonstrated determination and concentration abilities which impressed everyone around him, including Jolie. Maddox demonstrated his outstanding work ethic during the 2017 Netflix film First They Killed My Father, which he produced together with Jolie from a Cambodian memoir. Maddox demonstrated exceptional dedication through his production meeting notes, which exceeded Angelina's notes, showing the deep commitment he maintained as a teenager. Maddox experienced a crucial development through this project because it combined his Cambodian roots with his growing artistic abilities. He assumed both executive producer and collaborative roles, which allowed him to create stories that connected to his heritage. Their professional partnership enabled them to create a stronger bond as they worked together. Maddox described Angelina as fun and easy to work with, showing the warmth of their connection. Maddox spent his childhood in an educational environment that educational development. The siblings learned at home from teachers who came from different cultural backgrounds, which helped them develop language abilities and academic knowledge. By age 16, Maddox spoke French fluently, studied Russian and German, and understood some Khmer, which is the language spoken in his native country. His exceptional intellectual abilities, together with his linguistic proficiency, create a distinctive profile which predicts his future success through international understanding and personal drive. As Maddox moved into his teenage years, the influences of family and culture intertwined with challenges both personal and public, shaping the course of his transformation in ways still unfolding. Challenges and public scrutiny. As Maddox transitioned from childhood into his teenage years, the Jolie-Pitt family began facing intense public scrutiny that would inevitably affect him. In 2016, when Maddox was just 15, reports surfaced about an altercation between him and Brad Pitt on a private plane. The details were never fully disclosed, leaving much of the incident wrapped in speculation. Despite the uncertainty, this event played a significant role in Angelina Jolie's decision to file for divorce from Brad Pitt, signaling the start of a difficult and highly publicized family conflict. The fallout from the divorce brought media attention not only to the relationship between Angelina and Brad, but also to the children caught in the middle. Jolie alleged abusive behavior on Pitt's part toward her and their children, claims that led to legal battles over custody and public debate. The family's co-owned winery, Chateau Miraval, became part of a complicated dispute. Both Jolie and Pitt made efforts to keep the legal proceedings as civil as possible, focusing on the well-being of their children amid a challenging personal and legal landscape. For Maddox, these struggles added layers of complexity to his already evolving identity. Navigating his role as both a son and an individual under such public pressure must have required considerable emotional strength. Despite the painful circumstances, the family's focus on maintaining some semblance of normalcy was vital. Reports suggest that the Jolie-Pitts attempted to shield the children from much of the conflict, preserving their privacy as best they could in the face of relentless media coverage. The time period demonstrated how Maddox developed his strength, which he maintained since his early years. He encountered both typical teenage problems and additional challenges, which resulted from his family situation that received public attention. He maintained his bond with his siblings and mother throughout all challenges, which helped him overcome difficulties. Maddox learned to deal with his emotional challenges. Since his work, he developed into a youthful adult who exhibited a stable personality and a balanced view of the world. The public situation created both personal effects and new opportunities to discuss the difficulties which celebrity children experience when their personal matters become public knowledge. The path of Maddox shows how fame and family problems create complex relationships which people need to understand. Maddox maintained his dedication to personal development while maintaining his noble character throughout all situations which studied him. His developing abilities would continue to grow throughout his complete development process. Maddox dealt with multiple challenges which extended beyond the conflicts existing within his family. He needed to achieve adult behavior standards because his schoolwork and public visibility and his family situation created increased pressure on him. His mother needed to provide him with a secure learning space through homeschooling and cultural activities because the family situation became more unstable. His life experiences created his personal development and his social interactions with the people surrounding him. Stepping fully into his cultural roots and creative potential, Maddox embraced a project that connected his personal history to a wider audience in an unprecedented way. Cultural roots and cinematic influence. Maddox's involvement in the 2017 Netflix film First They Killed My Father marked a pivotal moment in his evolution, a merging of personal heritage and creative ambition. The film, directed by his mother Angelina Jolie, is based on a memoir by Loung Ung, a Cambodian human rights activist who survived the Khmer Rouge genocide. This project allowed Maddox to engage directly with the history of his birth country, deepening his understanding of the culture and experiences that shaped his earliest years. As an executive producer, Maddox was far from a passive participant. He played an active role in production meetings and decision-making, demonstrating a work ethic that impressed those around him, including his mother. Angelina has noted that his notes and contributions often surpassed her own, signaling Maddox's serious commitment to the project and its importance to him. This hands-on involvement spoke to his emerging identity as a thoughtful, intellectual young man who valued truth and storytelling. The film was more than just a creative endeavor. It was an educational journey. Maddox had already visited Cambodia multiple times, but working on set allowed him to deepen his connection further. He formed friendships with local children and even enjoyed sleepovers with them, highlighting a personal reconnection with the people and culture of his homeland. The involvement of the entire Jolie-Pitt family on and around the set helped foster a communal appreciation of Southeast Asian culture among the siblings. The experience which Angelina wanted her children to understand through this experience will help Maddox and all his siblings. The brothers who belong to Maddox's family share his heritage from Southeast Asia, which they celebrate through their traditional food and music and their Asian friendships. Angelina wanted her children to know and respect each other's heritages because this would help them develop their global citizenship while maintaining their family ties. The cultural bond between Maddox and his people became stronger through his ability to communicate in different languages. At 16, he attained French fluency and began studying Russian and German while developing basic Khmer speaking skills. Through his language expertise, he could access multiple cultures and create a stronger connection with Cambodia. His homeschooling program, which included tutors from different cultural backgrounds, helped him develop multilingual skills and acquire a worldwide outlook. Maddox developed his general career objectives through his combination of academic studies and cultural experiences. He shared his strong interest in history and storytelling, which led him to consider writing and travel as his future career paths instead of pursuing a typical Hollywood career. The project confirmed his desire to learn about uncommon locations and narratives that exist outside popular culture. His family support, together with his early life experiences, created a space where he could develop his creative skills to full potential. As Maddox's story continued to unfold, education became an even stronger driving force, blending academic excellence with his expanding worldview. Education and intellectual growth. Maddox Jolie-Pitt's academic journey has been marked by a remarkable passion for learning that extends far beyond typical expectations. From a young age, he was homeschooled alongside his siblings by a diverse group of teachers, many of whom came from different cultural backgrounds. This multicultural educational environment fostered a deep appreciation for languages and history. By the time he was 16, Maddox was already fluent in French and was studying Russian and German, on top of speaking some Khmer, the language of his birth country. His linguistic talents are a testament to both his natural ability and the eclectic schooling he received. Angelina Jolie has often spoken about Maddox's intellectual strengths with pride, calling him a real intellectual, and acknowledging that his achievements are due to his own efforts rather than genetics alone. She highlighted his particular aptitude for history and his love for reading and writing, suggesting that he could easily pursue careers involving travel, research, or storytelling. Maddox's enthusiasm for academics has set him apart in a family often spotlighted for their artistic and humanitarian pursuits, showing a grounded commitment to knowledge that feeds his broader worldview. In addition to formal studies, Maddox's intellectual growth has been shaped by real-world experiences, including the time spent working on the Netflix film linked to his Cambodian roots. His active involvement in production meetings indicated maturity and critical thinking unusual for someone his age. Developing skills in leadership and creative decision-making alongside his formal education painted a picture of a young man carving a multifaceted identity. This blend of scholastic dedication and practical application demonstrates how Maddox prioritizes depth in all his endeavors. Maddox's educational system maintained its adaptability because it needed to match his requirements for traveling the world and his family life. The homeschooling method enabled him to study specialized academic fields, which matched his personal interests and his ability to speak different languages. Through this approach, he gained protection from conventional educational system demands, which enabled him to succeed within an environment that offered strong intellectual support. The early benefits he received during his studies created a base which supported his challenging university studies because he maintained his academic goals and dedication to his field. His enrollment in a prestigious university serves as an additional proof of his determination to advance his academic career. Maddox selected Yonsei University for his biochemistry studies because it stands as one of South Korea's leading educational institutions, which offers both rigorous academic programs and research facilities. His decision to pursue a science degree instead of his present humanities and language studies demonstrates his scientific interests. Maddox needs to develop his career path because he wants to study fields that require strong knowledge and strict discipline and critical research skills, which he has shown throughout his life. Angelina Jolie helped Maddox to enter this new phase of his life by leading him to his dorm room and showing him the college grounds. A mother who felt proud experienced mixed emotions because she watched her firstborn son begin his journey into adulthood. Maddox chose to study abroad because he wanted to expand his international understanding, which he developed through his multicultural background and personal experiences. The educational phase represents his wish to acquire knowledge while he experiences various cultural traditions and new ways of thinking. The COVID-19 pandemic created an unexpected interruption to Maddox's university life. The global health emergency forced him to go back to his home after spending only one semester at university because of the safety measures, which included lockdowns and travel bans. His studies abroad ended when their family brought him back home, but he spent this time with his family during the difficult period. Maddox used the close distance to strengthen his Korean and Russian language skills because he studied those languages while spending time with his mother and siblings. Maddox's expanding knowledge and skills naturally deepened his connection to Cambodia, a bond that profoundly influences how he views himself and the world around him. Return to Cambodia and personal identity. Despite growing up far from his birthplace, Cambodia remains at the heart of Maddox Jolie-Pitt's identity. His repeated visits to the country helped him forge a meaningful connection with his heritage that goes well beyond superficial ties. Through spending time with locals, forming friendships, and immersing himself in Cambodian culture, Maddox embraced his roots in a way that many adopted children in celebrity families often struggle to do. This connection provides a grounding sense of belonging and pride that colors much of his public and private life. One of the most powerful experiences for Maddox was working on the set of First They Killed My Father in Cambodia, not just as a producer but as a participant immersed in his homeland's history and community. He didn't remain distant or detached. Instead, he made friends with children on set and even organized sleepovers, showing a natural comfort and ease among his Cambodian peers. This involvement allowed him to experience Cambodia as home rather than just a place of origin. The film's production served as a bridge, reconnecting Maddox to the people and stories of his birth nation. The entire Jolie-Pitt family's involvement in Cambodia during this time reinforced the importance of cultural sharing and education among siblings. Angelina Jolie has emphasized how critical it is for Maddox and Pax to have a strong sense of their Southeast Asian identity, including food, music, and friendships that are deeply embedded in their upbringing. At the same time, she encourages the children to appreciate one another's diverse backgrounds, fostering a family environment that celebrates unity through multicultural understanding rather than division. Maddox uses his observations of Cambodian people to show their combination of peacefulness and their ability to demonstrate extreme behavior during necessary occasions, which he considers part of his personal nature. The observation demonstrates his strong respect for the cultural traditions of the people who raised him during his formative years. Cambodia exists for him as more than a biography line because it represents an essential part of his identity. His Cambodian heritage brings him pride, which he shows by proudly claiming both his original and his adopted cultural backgrounds. People use language as a means to establish their identity. Maddox speaks a little Khmer, the national language of Cambodia, a connection that speaks volumes about his efforts to reclaim and maintain cultural ties. Maddox speaks multiple languages because he knows Khmer, French, Russian, and German, which together create a linguistic ability that reflects his diverse cultural heritage. His ability to speak multiple languages enables him to become a global citizen who maintains essential Cambodian cultural traditions. Maddox's educational travels and experiences in Korea and beyond have not diminished this bond. His new surroundings help him grow as a person, through which he discovers his dual identity as a Cambodian man who holds American citizenship and enjoys global citizenship. People who understand their cultural heritage through multiple identities gain advantages to see their world from different perspectives. The personal history and the worldwide experiences that shape his life create the foundation of his complete worldview. In embracing Cambodia more fully, Maddox not only honors his past, but also sets a foundation for the future, where his personal and cultural identities will continue to shape his journey in unique and meaningful ways. New beginnings and future outlook. As Maddox Jolie-Pitt entered adulthood, his journey showed a blend of promise, maturity, and evolving independence. In 2019, he began pursuing a degree in biochemistry at Yonsei University in South Korea, a prestigious institution recognized among the top in the country. This step reflected not only his academic dedication, but also a desire to forge a path shaped by his own interests and passions. His choice of study in the sciences marked a distinctive direction, differing from both his parents' artistic careers and yet carrying the same spirit of curiosity and challenge. Angelina Jolie was closely involved in helping Maddox settle into this new chapter. She accompanied him on tours of the campus and dormitory, offering support while also experiencing the bittersweet emotions that come with sending off one's eldest child. This milestone highlighted the expansion of Maddox's personal world and the beginning of a new phase defined by greater autonomy. For Angelina, it was a source of pride and excitement, emblematic of the values she aimed to instill in her children: independence, education, and an openness to new cultures. However, the global outbreak of COVID-19 early in 2020 disrupted Maddox's initial university experience. After completing just one semester, he returned home in response to the pandemic and worldwide lockdown measures. While this pause temporarily altered his academic plans, it had the unexpected benefit of reuniting the Jolie-Pitt family. All 6 children were back together, reinstating a close-knit family life that Maddox had not experienced for some time. The time away from campus also allowed him to continue advancing his language skills, particularly Korean and Russian, showing his dedication remained steadfast despite external challenges. Back home, Maddox took on a positive role as the eldest sibling, reconnecting with his brothers and sisters and offering support wherever he could. His presence enriched the family dynamic, and simple moments like receiving haircuts from his mother strengthened their bond. These everyday interactions underscored his transition from a protected child to a responsible adult who values family first. The ability to balance personal ambitions with familial connections highlights Maddox's grounded nature in a world often pulled by fame and expectations. Maddox entered adulthood at age 21, which he celebrated with his family and friends on his birthday. This milestone was not just a personal celebration, but a marker of his growth and the many transformations he had undergone. He also took steps to support his siblings during their own transitions, such as helping his sister Zahara move to Spelman College in Atlanta. The young man performs family obligations while simultaneously building his own separate identity. Maddox's life journey includes 3 main elements, which are cultural diversity, academic achievement, and personal strength. He maintains his Cambodian heritage while living as a global citizen because he understands identity in a complex way. His multifaceted view of the world will shape his upcoming judgments and professional growth and personal connections. Maddox's story shows that people can achieve new goals while staying true to their cultural background. Maddox has multiple potential career paths to explore in his professional future. His past work in science and writing and international travel experiences have equipped him to approach future challenges with deep thought and kindness. His background in adoption and family difficulties and cultural experiences and academic pressure has given him both resilience and a wide-ranging outlook. Maddox stands poised to define success on his own terms. Maddox Jolie-Pitt's journey from orphanage to adulthood reveals a powerful story of resilience and growth. His dedication to education, strong cultural ties, and family bonds continue to redefine what it means to thrive. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Maddox's transformation, don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Thank you for watching.